Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, flooding forces Tofield to cancel its Canada Day celebrations with more rain in the forecast. Should it stay or should it go? People in Gibbons voting on whether their community should remain a town. And Bittersweet Symphony, a violinist preparing for his final show after 65 years with the orchestra.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Following last weekend's rain, Tofield is still in a local state of emergency with more wet weather on the way. The town has canceled Canada Day festivities. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports on the community coming together to help one another get by.
The water pumps were on full blast this week at Tofield Packers. Days of heavy rain had the family business surrounded.
Piled sandbags till 3 in the morning.
Jill Lungle says friends, family, and strangers saw they were in trouble and jumped into action.
People were shoveling water, people were paling water. We had squeegees, and honestly everybody worked 24 hours a day. It was crazy.
The effort paid off, literally.
There isn't a drop that went in there, and people do not believe it.
Do you believe it?
It's crazy. It was a miracle.
Between the refrigerated trailer out back and the freezers inside, Dale Erickson says a food inspector approved hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of beef and other meat for sale. The Premier visited Tofield Wednesday to survey the damage to the town. The Provincial Emergency Management Agency is offering financial support. Earlier this week, folks at Tofield Packers were pumping water from their property across the road into this reservoir, which is now itself being drained in preparation for the weekend.
The idea is to mitigate and to pump until there isn't any more water to pump. With the forecast for the weekend, we know more water's coming, and so we just need to be prepared for that.
One preparation is to cancel the town's upcoming Canada Day festivities.
It didn't feel appropriate for us to be inviting hundreds, if not thousands, of additional people into our community when we're not out of our emergency yet.
Town staff are also exhausted from days of cleanup. Getting some relief now, Wainwright sent a few people down Highway 14 to help out.
Help support the staff here and help clean up all the water around and try to keep them going.
Water restrictions under a local state of emergency are still in place as a wet weekend looms and people brace for round 2.
Looking at the weather forecast, we're keeping everything in place.
In Tofield, Jeremy Thompson, CTV News.
Beaumont is another community hit hard by flooding. It was the first to issue a water use advisory on the weekend. That advisory was lifted this afternoon. The city says one wastewater line wasn't flowing properly. The line was cleared this morning, and the system is now back to normal.
Over the next few days, the city itself, we're going to restrict our water use as much as possible for non-essential uses to give people a chance to catch up so that they can get their laundry and their dishes done. Now, we are asking that they hold off on things like watering their lawn or their garden, although probably don't need to at this time.
Beaumont says it has additional crews and equipment prepared for this weekend's incoming rain. A 32-year-old man from Grand Prairie has been charged with 3 counts of sexual assault. Police have released a photo of Joseph Kidd. RCMP allege he met a 14-year-old from BC through social media. They say he picked her up and brought her back to his home. RCMP say she was able to escape when he left for work. Kidd is also facing charges in 3 other incidents. In one case, police allege he tried to lure a 15-year-old into his convertible. Mounties want anyone who has been in contact with Kidd, either in person or online, to come forward.
Based on the cases presented before you today and the cases before the court, there is a possibility that there are additional victims out there, and we remain ready to assist and support those victims as necessary.
Kidd is currently in custody, awaiting a hearing next week. None of the allegations have been proven in court. Venezuelans in Edmonton are closely watching news coming out of that country after an earthquake last night. The country says at least 188 people are dead and hundreds more are trapped by rubble. It says at least 1,500 people are injured and thousands have been reported missing. The Association of Venezuelans in Edmonton is still trying to determine if anyone living here is directly affected. So far, all reported family and friends have been confirmed safe. The local association's president says what he's seen so far is devastating.
I'm very sad, but at this point in time it's more like fear. I saw journalists witnessing the rescue of kids, so I know there's people still trapped. I know that in big buildings.
The U.S. Geological Survey says the 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude earthquakes hit within a minute of each other. They are the strongest to strike the country in more than a century. Canadian Global Response is set up to take donations online. Canada is providing $5 million in humanitarian aid to Venezuela. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he will attend the Calgary Stampede next week and will campaign against Alberta separatism while he's there. Carney says quitting Canada is not the magic wand separatists think it is. The Prime Minister says he will attempt to motivate pro-Canada voters to show up for the fall referendum. He points to the UK's Brexit vote to leave the European Union.
I saw firsthand what gets sold in these referenda. That everything's going to be easy. At a minimum, it's years of uncertainty before the subsequent question comes, right at a time the world is fundamentally uncertain.
In October, Albertans will vote on whether to dismiss the idea of separating or start the process of holding a second referendum on the issue that is binding. People living in Gibbons are waiting to see if their community will remain a town or if it will dissolve and become part of Sturgeon County. People voted over the past 2 days on whether they want their town to remain as is or become a hamlet and join the county. Municipal Affairs reviewed Gibbons' status earlier this year because it was discovered the town was $13 million in debt. People we spoke with in the town of 3,200 want to remain a separate entity. It's not clear what people in Sturgeon County want because there's currently no process for polling them.
There is absolutely no mechanism for the receiving municipality to ask their residents whether they want to assume, care and responsibility of a incoming municipality and all the challenges and the issues and concerns that come around that.
If the vote shows people want Gibbons to remain a town, the Municipal Affairs Minister will direct council on how to manage the debt. If people vote to dissolve, the province would have to approve the decision. Gibbons could then become a hamlet within months. A report from the University of Calgary is raising concerns about the province's funding changes for people with disabilities. The new Alberta Disability Assistance Program will replace AISH, or Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped. Under ADAP, people will receive a little more than $1,700 a month. That's $200 less than what AISH provides. The province says that's because people on ADAP can earn more income than people on AISH before support is reduced. The province says it will support people who want to work more. The report says it could have the opposite effect. Researchers say it fails to address barriers that make it difficult for people with disabilities to find and keep employment.
It's really taking the approach that employment policy for people with disabilities can't succeed if it only focuses on the individual and ignores the labor market that they're trying to enter.
ADAP takes effect next Wednesday on Canada Day. People moving to ADAP will receive a monthly benefit of $200 until the end of 2027 to help with the transition. Edmonton is celebrating the renovation of hundreds of affordable housing units. 900 affordable townhomes and apartments across city-owned properties are now updated. Improvements were made to the structures, energy efficiency, and design. Mayor Andrew says maintaining existing affordable housing is just as important as building new housing.
I think we spend a lot of time talking about the need for additional housing, and that is critically important, and we're not going to let up on that need. But at the same time, we have a lot of housing that was built pre-1990s that never really felt like it had a plan for that full renovation that you would expect.
The city says this will extend the life of existing homes and improve the quality of life for people who live there. All right. right, Josh, a pretty nice day out there. We better enjoy the sunshine before the weekend rolls in.
Yeah, gorgeous yesterday, beautiful again today, and most of tomorrow is going to be really nice as well. We'll be in the 20s once again tomorrow. Maybe not quite as warm as today. We're at 25 downtown right now, 26 to the south. Wind a little breezy, 15 to about 30 kilometers per hour. We'll see some gusty conditions again tomorrow, and then windy to go along with all the rain on Saturday. 15 degrees for your morning low today, 3 degrees above average, and 26 for the daytime high, 4 degrees warmer than average. Just the fourth warmer than average day the entire month. Might be the last one as well. We'll get to that later. First, take a look outside with CTV drone. It was blue skies all day. That cloud cover that you're seeing now, though, that's out ahead of some thunderstorms coming off of the foothills. We're not going to see any of that thunderstorm activity in the city tonight, but we will see some of that cloud cover roll in from the west, southwest. You can see it's been widespread thunderstorms here in northwestern, western parts of the province, but look at how they're all kind of tracking almost due north here or backing up a little bit. Looks like you might have a severe thunderstorm warning associated with that one there, just off to the southeast of Edson, northwest Drayton Valley. There have been sort of watches and warnings popping up and down through the afternoon. Here in Edmonton, there's your cloud sliding in from the southwest. No warning on that one just yet around Drayton Valley. There are two here just north and northwest of Grand Prairie that have severe thunderstorm warnings associated with them. The gray zone goes from Edson all the way to the border. That's the special weather statement related to the rain for this weekend. We'll talk more about that in the next weather hit. 15 your morning low tomorrow, and 23 with the chance of some late day showers and thunderstorms tomorrow.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, Skiore no more. Why skiers towed by horses will not return to Banff next winter.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Alberta iGaming Corporation. For integrity, for fun, for Alberta.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
All the rain we've gotten in the capital region is flooding more than just basements. Farmers are dealing with flooded fields and soggy crops. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, while some worry more rain could be disastrous, others are trying to remain optimistic.
It was looking real good until it rained.
Crops need rain, but this year it's been too much, too fast. From the ground, you can see flooded areas in this farmer's field, but from above, the extent of the water damage is much clearer.
The damage has already been done, so some of these areas won't come back from what those plants there are not going to produce.
Chris Allen says anywhere from 15 to 50% of his land is underwater.
The first 10% that's gone, that's the profit. So anything after that, you're looking at red net revenues.
Further south, near Camrose, it's a similar situation for farmers.
The crop is nowhere near lost. I'm just the optimist looking at it, saying there's lots of water now for later in the year.
Allen says crops that have been able to grow are doing okay for now.
If it stays wet long enough, this crop will start going backwards very quickly as well. So we'll lose that. We can start having a reduced yield on some of this crop.
In 2020, Tofield County declared a state of agricultural disaster because of significant rain and flooding. Allen says the way things are now, and with more rain on the way, they could be in the same situation this year.
We're kind of on a tipping point. If it stops raining, the sun comes out, go to the lake for a weekend, then get some spraying done, that'd be great. But it rains a bunch more, we're going to be pretty sad.
If a disaster is declared, Allen says it does allow farmers to access funds to help with remediation, but he's hopeful it doesn't come to that.
If I can get the rest of the field to produce half decently, we'll be okay.
The soggy fields can also lead to issues down the road. Any ruts created make it challenging and more expensive for harvest equipment.
They don't go away between now and September when we start harvest. So managing them, but like I said, it's something we'll come up with a plan with and we'll work through it.
Allen says a good 2 weeks of warm, sunny weather after the wet June would do not only farmers, but everyone some good. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Tofield County.
Skiore Canada will not return to Banff next year. For several years, skiers towed by horses entertained onlookers on a street in Banff. Last year, the large crowds put significant strain on the mountain town. Skiore Canada is thanking Banff for its hospitality and partnership, and it's encouraging people to stay tuned for its locations for the next season. Canada will face off against South Africa on Sunday in their first game of the World Cup knockout stage. Team Canada came second in their group after losing to first place Switzerland 2-1. While Germany has already secured top spot in its group, local fans still flock to a watch party at the German-Canadian Cultural Centre.
How do we get into the spirit? Well, so yeah, pretzels, beer, bratwurst, schnitzel, potato salad, sauerkraut, all of the things that you would expect to be German are the things that we have available here. That's what people expect. That's what we like.
Food is a prominent part of the German watch parties at the German Club on Roper Road. The club says as long as Germany stays in the tournament, there will be watch parties. Today's game against Ecuador ended with a loss. It's still undetermined who Germany will play in the group of 32. There is potential that Germany could meet Canada at some point in the World Cup. Still to come tonight on CTV News, special deliveries, sprucing up a food truck that will help Edmonton's homeless.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A motorcycle charity group is using a different mode of transportation to help homeless people downtown. Wild Wolves of Canada plans to deliver food to people twice a week in this food truck. The group collaborated with Crew Project and Boyle Street to decorate what was a blank canvas earlier today. LGBTQ2S+ youth used spray paint to give it an extra touch.
We want the kids to be able to have fun with this. We want them to, use their artistic and creative spirit to be able to make something really meaningful that whenever anybody on the street sees us, they know that we bring with us that atmosphere of safety, of inclusion.
Wild Wolves of Canada aims to eventually deliver food to people in need every day. I hope they add an awning onto that thing, Josh, because boy, oh boy, we've got some rain on the way this weekend. I know we want to talk about the nice weather the next day or two, but I think a lot of people looking ahead to this weekend.
Yeah, listen, for Edmonton, for a lot of the province, this is not going to be a repeat of last. It's not even close to how much rain fell last week. However, the problem is, and the reason that we'll get rainfall warnings here as we get closer to the weekend, right now we've got that special weather statement. The reason that's been issued is because of all the rain that we had last weekend and the rain that we had earlier in the week. And so the ground's just so saturated or near to saturated, it just can't hold anything else. In a normal year, a rainfall like this weekend wouldn't be that big of a deal. Coming on the heels of last weekend, though, it becomes a bit more of a problem. 27 degrees Fort McMurray right now, 19 in Grand Prairie. You have heat warnings in effect across the north. They'll be in effect for one more day tomorrow. It's 23 to the south in Red Deer. Lots of thunderstorm activity here across the west and the northwest. Some isolated severe cells, just clouds for Edmonton later on this evening. Let's get rid of the rain, or the lightning rather. You can see that storm and that storm are probably producing hail. No warnings just yet. There likely should be. That one there has a warning attached to it. So does the one south of High Prairie there. So we'll see if we do get some warnings off of those ones further to the south. But right now, these are the only two that are severe warned. Main threat, heavy downpours and some hail. That pink zone there from high level east towards Fort Chipewyan, that's the heat warning. And then here in the gray zone is where we have the chance for some overland flooding again because of all the rain. And it will start in many of those areas Friday night. So there's tonight. All of that thunderstorm activity in the west-northwest stays in the west and northwest. There's tomorrow morning. Get some sunshine to start. Clouds by tomorrow afternoon. Mid-afternoon, Red Deer area already gets a chance of some showers and thunderstorms. For us here in Edmonton, it's going to be sort of supper time into the evening hours. And then watch how this hose of moisture just kind of spins its way back from east to west again. This is a similar setup, not exactly like last weekend, but it's a similar setup where it's all wrapping around on the northern edge of this upper level low. So there's Saturday afternoon. I think some of the steadiest rain for Edmonton could be through the afternoon hours Saturday. There might be a little bit of a break overnight Saturday night. Then the rain pushes back through on Sunday. We will likely see less rain Sunday than we do on Saturday here in the Edmonton area, but both days are looking wet. Most of the rain Friday night into Saturdays off to the east and northeast of the Edmonton areas where they need it the least. The heaviest rain Saturday night into Sunday likely falls north and northwest of the Edmonton region. I think here in the city, about 30 to 60 seems like a reasonable estimate. 20 to 40-ish Saturday, about 10 to 20 on Sunday. Areas off to the north and to the east of the Edmonton regions could see closer to 80, maybe 90 millimeters worth of rain. 29 in Fort McMurray, 27 for Peace River tomorrow afternoon, as again that heat warning will be in place. 23 for Red Deer and a chance of some mid-afternoon showers or thunderstorms. Our risk comes late in the day tomorrow, then mid to high teens for the weekend with that rain. Windy as well on Saturday, gusts to about 60 kilometers per hour, and unsettled all of next week.
All right, Josh, thank you. An invasive fish that's caused problems in water across the province is now in Sylvan Lake. Prussian carp is considered one of Alberta's most troublesome invasive fish species. Alberta's Environment Minister says Alberta's government is aware of the presence of Prussian carp in Sylvan Lake. Fish samples provided by local residents were recently tested, and results received earlier this week confirm the species' presence. The province encourages anyone who catches Prussian carp to humanely kill and dispose of them. Any sightings should be reported to the Aquatic Invasive Species Hotline. When we return, the final curtain, a local violinist ready for the last show of his 65-year career.
After 65 years, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, okay, it may be the time to pass the torch.
CTV News at 5 continues.
Programming brought to you by Basement Systems Edmonton. Contact us today for all things basement-y.
Edmonton Symphony believes one of its violinists may be the longest-serving orchestra member in the world. CTV's Noah Rashog has more.
Dozens of instruments all working together like a well-oiled machine to bring a world of magic to life. Its oldest, most reliable part, 82-year-old Brody Olsen, has been stringing melodies from his beloved violin for 65 years.
It's a fantastic thing when you think that everything in our life has music in it of some kind. You know, even listening to a mosquito has got a bit of a music.
Brody's career started at just 6 years old, following his father's footsteps, playing with him in the symphony, then inheriting his music school.
I've had people in the orchestra in the past that have already retired, that have been my students. The last one, would have been Robert Rishu.
We caught up with Rishu, who says that he and dozens of others owe their careers to Brody's mentorship.
And it was Brody, in fact, who told me, Rob, there's a vacancy in the second violin section. You better get your chops together and audition.
The Edmonton Symphony Orchestra says that Olsen is the longest actively serving symphony player, not just in Alberta or Canada, but the entire world. Brody's final curtain call is this weekend. His last performance, the musical world of Harry Potter.
After 65 years, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, okay, it may be the time to pass the torch with, as the Montreal Canadiens say, with failing hands, we're passing the torch.
Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.